Apple foldable iPhones are far away to be expected because Apple is testing the UTG Ultra Thin Glass from a different companies to take Samsung foldables dominance. Though let a Korean publication mention that Apple is working with LG to make UTG for Apple devices. Even trusted leaker Michio mentioned that Apple is testing the foldable OLED about 9 inches in sizes. Apple may test this foldable display on an iPad or a laptop or any device besides an iPhone. Since iPhone sales are a major source of revenue and reputation for Apple, we can expect a foldable device by 2025 and onward. This might come in early since company decisions are unpredictable. According to a Korean publication, the LG is making a foldable display for Apple and HP. For Apple, we only know that foldable ultra-thin glass OLED is for tablets and notebooks. We know that LG supplies foldable display to Lenovo Force foldable laptop, and LG is supplying HP a 17-inch and its falls to 11-inch display at a 4K resolution. The production will come by the third quarter of this year. LG will produce up to 10,000 foldable displays. Samsung Watch 5 will see an increase in battery capacity on the Watch 5 series. The Watch 5 44mm will be increased by 36 mAh more, in total 397 mAh, from the predecessor at just 361 mAh, though 40mm will be increased by 29 mAh, in total 276, from the predecessor at 247 mAh. Aside from the features such as a thermometer sensor which tests body temperature through the skin as well as tracking ovulation cycle. A rumor mentioned that Samsung is working on a Pro and Ultra model of the Watch 5 series. This is not confirmed leak because the companies are very unpredictable on making decisions even at the last moment. If the idea or project goes through, we might see an August event and see more leaks regarding this rumor as the event gets closer. The chip supply that is limits on the production because of the situation we're facing is making Apple to look for a third party to make a flash memory NAND chips. The two major contractors for Apple are Samsung and second place SK Hynix. The report comes from Bloomberg from the anonymous source since talks are kept in private between Apple and Jiangxi. The third party is a Chinese company Jiangxi who will supply Apple AMD flash memory chipset, but Jiangxi is behind one generation and the complexity of making chipset is very fragile, so we can expect a NAND chip memory responsible for storage for the first implement on the iPhone XE. When Jiangxi will start production for Apple is unknown. Even some sources say that already production started. Some might take years and or more. This without mentioning the US lawmakers' involvement since governments are passing laws to reduce electronic waste. One of them is the Right to Repair Act. One of major electronic companies, Apple started providing resellers through the partnership with iFixit community. And now Samsung joins iFixit community by providing guidance for users as well as genuine parts and tools for the users can repair their devices at home, as giving access to return damaged parts or parts that came damaged from the shipment of manufacturer, and also giving access for recycled devices and parts to Samsung Recycle. Motorola is seeking to consume the gap that LG left when LG mobile business was terminated. Motorola is releasing many devices from many different tiers. The third device is a flagship smartphone featuring the best technology available for the third quarter. The device is codenamed the Frontier and probably named the H30 Ultra or Pro, depending on the market. The H30 Ultra is rumored to feature Samsung 200 megapixel camera sensor, a 6.67 inches POLED waterfall display at 144 refresh rate. The chipset is expected to be Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 Plus. The RAM is go to up to 8GB to 12GB of LPDDR5 RAM. Internal storage capacity from 128 to 256GB. Also, the battery capacity is 4,500 mAh, a charging speed of the whopping 125 watts, capable of charging in just 20 minutes. You can expect this device to have the latest specs and features, just an improvement version of other released H30 series to be released soon. The device is expected to release in the third quarter of this year, around July and September. Microsoft is renaming the Your Phone app to Phone Link to Windows 11. The update comes with a name change to Phone Links, a redesigned interface to make it simple and easier to manage, more improvement with Android system capability. This comes due to a partnership with Chinese smartphone that became independent, the Honor brand. Also, Microsoft mentioned that this is open to China. The Phone Link will work with more Android devices. Apart from the originally PC for foldable Honor Magic B, the Magic 4, the Magic 4 Pro, and the Magic 4 Ultimate, and their predecessor Magic 3 and Magic 3 Pro and Magic 3 Pro Plus. Samsung and Surface Duo and more, just like Honor as time passes. Xiaomi 12 Ultra release date get closer, more info we know as well as leaks. This time we know that the device colors. It will come with multiple colors for glass as ceramic. The stronger material will offer black and white, and for vegan leather colors are unknown. Xiaomi is partnership with Leica camera band. You remember Leica camera band partnership with Huawei. This info came from XDA developer who found strings of coding in the EMUI app gallery editor related to Leica brand camera. We might see the next Xiaomi flagship smartphone with Leica brand. We might see if this partnership fruits or benefits Xiaomi cameras to rival the competition. Google is still developing the Face ID in which is supposed to be released on the Pixel 6, but due to consuming too much energy, the idea was put aside until it was improved or perfected to fix the issue with the battery drain. The Google Pixel 6 might still receive the update in the future. Android 13 update will bring key functionalities to the eSIM that allows to run two carriers at the same time. The idea embedded SIM with dual SIM support of this was to be released by the end of Android 13, because the current eSIM allows for one carrier to run. Even though the process is stopped through a QR code to reactivate the eSIMs with a carrier. Similarly, a rumor mentioned that Apple wants to remove the physical SIM for eSIM, and that was talks with carriers, even though eSIMs and embedded SIM cards are the future for smartphones. MediaTek chipsets are coming behind Qualcomm by the edge. From the market shares of last year, was by 26%, Samsung Exynos with a 7%, Apple with an A Bionic a 26%, and Qualcomm with a 37%. For example, MediaTek chipset cover a 51% of US because of a budget smartphone that comes with a MediaTek chipset. MediaTek chipset are improving to a point that is on the tail of Qualcomm, who dominates the Android market. MediaTek Dimensity 9000 is the second of the best chipsets. It offers of many features such as capacity of 300 megapixel camera sensor and AV1 codec, since that Qualcomm doesn't have. MediaTek chipset caught the attention of Samsung based on leaks and rumors that Samsung will use some markets the MediaTek chipset on his flagship smartphone, the S series, and also the S22 FE or probably the S23 flagship smartphones. Based on rumors, Samsung will make the Exynos exclusive for Samsung phone priority the S series. These steps will make the chipset more efficient, just like exclusivity of Apple A Bionic chipset for their iPhones. Samsung Z Fold 4, based on rumors, will come with a 108 megapixel camera sensor and a 3 times telephoto lens, and another rumor mentioned a 10 times Periscope zoom lens. Some other sources like Galaxy Club mentioned that the Samsung will bring the same camera setup found on the S22 and the S22 Plus. Aside from cameras, Samsung will keep the fingerprint scanner on the power button, instead of adding the under-display ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. If Samsung goes for the under-display ultra fingerprint scanner, will have to add two to the phone. For example, the Vivo Fold used two ultrasonic under-display fingerprint sensor. Why Samsung can't do that? Another leak mentioned that Samsung will stop using a double hinge. Instead, it will use one hinge mechanism. This will allow the display to be flatter in the inside and add more space to add the S Pen inside of Z Fold 4. The previous leak mentioned that Samsung will use a stronger ultra-thin glass, in which the Samsung calls the Super UTG, to be developed on the Galaxy Z Fold 4 By August of this year, Samsung will make dramatic changes to their own smartphone to avoid the scandal of the Exynos 2200 overheating issue with the throttling, in which they patch with an update. Another issue is the GPS signal loss. To avoid those damages, Samsung will make the Exynos chipset to prioritize the Samsung smartphone instead of making the chipset universal, just like Apple. The Exynos chipset will be like the A Bionic chipset exclusive to iPhone, with a few exceptions like Vivo and Meizu. This makes the great news based on what Samsung Electronics President TM Rowe mentioned on meeting with employees. This means Samsung will optimize the Exynos chipset to perform better than before since there is no more room to work instead of making the chipset universally. Google Maps will be getting even better because Google started adding tolls information in which allows you to choose which route will go first on a toll-free or toll route. Also, Google will be adding the price of the toll roads in the US, India, Japan, and Indonesia. And more countries and cities will be added later on. Another feature is the integration of traffic light and stop signs, so you can see the road better. The update will roll out for Android and iOS devices. Apple is working on implementing a Periscope camera. A periscope is a zoom camera that is made by arranging multiple tiny lenses together to relate light to the sensor. The periscope zoom is capable of magnifying 10 times the optical zoom, also known and seen in flagship phones like the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. According to the Elite, a Korean publication mentioned that Apple have selected a company called Jaguar that will manufacture the components for the periscope lens. Also, this Jaguar produces components for Samsung. The company Jaguar will start building a new factories for Apple periscope camera components. The release date is expected, and also, according to leakers like Michin Keyworld, should be by the iPhone 15 by Q2 2023. Apple is trying to add more features to the Apple Watch like the blood pressure monitor, but this technology is not ready because it's not accurate. According to Mark Gurman, the Apple analyst that worked for Bloomberg, mentioned that the blood pressure will not be ready until 2024. Another feature is the blood sugar monitoring. It does not have a target year, so we can expect this for many years. Lastly, you can expect a body temperature sensor on the Apple Watch for this year and similar expected on the Samsung Watch for this year too. The recent trend of many companies like Apple and Samsung partnership with iFixit, and now Google is partnering with iFixit. Google is supplying iFixit with and other repair companies tools and smartphone components to be fixed from the Pixel 2 and up. Can repair it by yourself, and if you need help, you can seek a repair company will help you to get your Google Pixel fixed. Also, Google is partnership with repair centers across the many nations with the Pixel devices that will be available. That includes the US, Canada, European countries, UK, and Australia. Though a leak info by the FCC shows a 4-pixel model that will specs and features the latest technology depending on the target audience. According to Go Android, the 4-pixel device will have a 5G LTE, Wi-Fi 6E, and Bluetooth. Among these devices are the mid-range budget Pixel 6a that will be unveiled on May, with almost the same specs as the Pixel 6 revealed on November. The next device are the flagship Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro for this year fourth quarter that will be from October to November. Lastly, the rumored foldable Pixel device that can probably be released this year on the market by the end of this year. The Pixel 7 and the Pixel 7 Pro and the third rumored foldable Pixel device will have the latest specs, including improved camera system with a leading more in software for enhancing features, the second generation of Predecessor chip. The Pixel 7 series will have a more refined and smooth body ratio and kept the same screen size for the Pixel 7 6.3 inches and the Pixel 7 Pro 6.7 inches. Google is adding into the Android 13 a built-in features that will allow games to load faster, but some games already have these features on Android, but it's not the same when they built in. The game features called Set Game State, which allow the games to inform the phone on the current state. This will tell the Android system if we can enter the gaming section, and also allow to increase the performance of the CPU and GPU chipset via game loading mode. The downside is those devices upgrading from the Android 12 to Android 13 is unknown if they can be implemented. While we know for sure those Android that we open box with Android 13 and up will come with this game feature. Apple is seeking to reduce their reliance on Samsung display manufacturer. Rose John, a reliable leaker, mentioned that Apple is trying to diversify their OLED display suppliers. The only supplier will be Samsung display manufacturer for the iPhone 14, and the iPhone 14 Pro will split between the Samsung and LG. The reason is that LG is capable of manufacturing many LTPO displays like Samsung, who can't mass produce the LTPO display. The LTPO displays are responsible for high refresh rate and lower energy consumption, and can dynamically refresh from 1 Hz to 120 Hz depending on the content viewing. Google Pixel Watch was teased by Denzel at the I/O Developer Conference. The Pixel Watch will be unveiling on this fall. The Pixel Watch will have a dual CPU according to leaks. The dual CPU will function this way. The main CPU will handle everything with the exception of the lock screen always displayed, while the second CPU handles anything dealing with the lock screen. The CPU is believed to be the Samsung Exynos 9110 chipset. This dual CPU will be more energy efficient due to the separation on task. Another tip is that the Pixel Watch will have more RAM than Samsung Watch at 1.5 GB of RAM, an increase of internal storage up to 32 GB. The featured sensors are heart rate monitoring, blood oxygen, and more features like from Fitbit sensors technologies. Qualcomm recently unveiled two chipsets to improve the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 to a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. The second one is a mid-range Snapdragon 7 Gen 1. The Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 is 10% more in performance, 30% more efficient in CPU and GPU. The mid-range Snapdragon Gen 1 gets many features. We will see the true performance when it's released to public. Xiaomi 12 Ultra is rumored to be released during this quarter around this month of May. Other sources mention that it will be quarter 3 from June to August of this year. According to Digital Stack Station, Xiaomi 12 Ultra will keep the same camera setup as the predecessor Xiaomi 11 Ultra, or may known as Mi 11 Ultra. This year, Xiaomi 12 Ultra will be improved version of the Xiaomi 11 Ultra from last year. The Xiaomi 12 Ultra enhanced comes from the latest specs and features like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 or maybe the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. Lastly, here is the leak of the case for the Xiaomi 12 Ultra for this year. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 is to debut on August of this year. It was spotted on Geekbench. The scores are for single is 1,277 and in multi-cores are 3,642. It's not that impressive compared to the S22 Ultra scores. For single is 1,240 and multi-cores are 3,392. As it was mentioned, Qualcomm the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 is 10% performance more and a 30% more efficient in CPU and GPU, also manufactured by TSMC instead of Samsung. The second tip is the Z Flip 4 will have two batteries, 2,555 and a max of 3,595 milliamps. Stay tuned for more updates as the day get closer and more leaks pop for the Galaxy Z Flip 4. Samsung has made a mainstream the foldable smartphone like the Z Fold series, and now the Samsung is seeking to introduce more foldable smartphones to the market. According to the Elect, a South Korean, Samsung is manufacturing parts for the new Samsung foldable smartphone. The actual foldable device will start production around June. Based on last year's production, the Z Flip 3 was accounted for 65% and the Z Fold 3 35%. And also, there is a rumor that Samsung will unveil a rollable or a slided smartphone that is expected to be unveiled alongside the Z Fold 4 and the Z Flip 4 for this year. For now, Samsung is releasing two foldable devices for the Fold series and going to expand it to add a rollable phone according to rumors. Also, based on rumors, Google is wanting to announce a foldable device for this year, apart from Chinese companies like Oppo and Xiaomi a fading away. Motorola Razr, the competition for Samsung Z Flip series. The Razr 5G 3rd Gen will be getting an upgrade. According to Ross Young, a reliable tester mentioned that Razr 5G 3rd Gen will have an increase in display. For the cover display, it's going to be incremented from 2.7 to 3 inches. From inside display, increased from 6.2 to 6.7 inches. The Razr 5G 3rd Gen will be gaining a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 and 120Hz refresh rate.